Yeah. It's the first episode or the first edition of After the Final Whistle. Okay. A lot of my folks outside of Nigeria said that they are missing out on the live show that we're doing every Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 10. And so we should create room for them to join live on a later hour. So we decided to put after the final whistle. So this is test run. We'll test run it for today, tomorrow, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night and Thursday night because of the Champions League and the Europa Cup matches, and see how it goes. If it doesn't go well, we'll go back to the old format. But because you people ask for it, that we should also do live shows in the evening to give people outside of Nigeria, people as in diaspora, the opportunity to also get their minds on the things that went on during the day. It's fine because when I'm doing my show by 9, most people in the US, for instance, like 3 a.m. In the night or in the morning, as you know, the day will go. So let's see how today goes, and then we'll decide what I will do tomorrow, and we'll do on Tuesday and Wednesday and then Thursday. Then while we wait for the viewers to join in and share their thoughts on what went down in their respective club game today. For those of you whose club played either Friday or today, while we also look forward to the games that will come up tomorrow, while I'm waiting for you guys to join in and us having a chat on that. Let me just say that it's not been the best of result for Manchester United. Not one of those result that Manchester United fans are looking for. The last 5 games have not been pretty much beautiful because you would sit back and look at Manchester, and the first thought you'll be saying to yourself is, "Come on, Manchester United should be winning these games. They should be getting results in these games." But unfortunately, that didn't happen. They got a draw again after drawing 1-1 with Burnley. Yeah, I was expecting them to get a win against Southampton, especially with the way they started. You would have thought that they would go on to score more goals. They were full of running, and all of a sudden, the team just fattered out. It was like they took a pin and popped their balloon, and all their energy just went off completely. And it was strange because in the first 45 minutes, Manchester United were really up in the game. Southampton played well as well, but there was a little bit of tactical adjustment from Southampton, and it just changed everything. But beyond that, I think that Manchester United, they easily gave up in the game. They easily just settled for, okay, we can't get a win, let's just stay. But I think that the game changer was Romeo. When Romeo moved and became the guy who was really stopping play, who was moving to make sure that everywhere Manchester United players go, they go there and stuff. And then the other game that I talked about earlier on today was Napoli hosting Inter Milan. I was thinking that Napoli was going to take this opportunity to say, you know what, yeah, we have a chance to go on top of the league table. We have a chance to win this one. Let's win it and stop Inter Milan on their track. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Well, if you look at it on the flip side, you will say that in 2 games, Inter Milan have not won. They picked up only 1 point out of a possible 6. So, not really a bad one for Napoli per se, but a win would have been very beautiful. A win would have been nice. A win would have been a great reach for Napoli, and they would have gone on to build on that. But then there is still a lot of banana peels ahead. I can't say that Inter Milan would win all their games at the start of the season. Anyway, if you've given Inter Milan a chance to say that by this time of the season they will be on top of the log, considering the loss of Lukaku for 89 million, if I'm not mistaken, or more than that, the loss of Akim Ashraf, the loss of Antonio Conte, you would almost certainly have said that Inter Milan cannot be on top of the log by this time of the season. But then, sometimes football is not played on paper, not sometimes, all the time. Football is not played on paper, it's played on the field. And on the field, Inter Milan have decided to shut everybody up and show what stuff they are made of. In Germany, we got a shocker, but thank God that the chasing pack were not close enough to take advantage of it, and it didn't affect the the standing of Bayern Munich, but Bayern Munich lost by 4 goals to 2. All 4 goals by Bochum was scored in the first half. Even though Lewandowski scored 2 goals, a brace in this game, it didn't change anything. Talking about a brace, Raheem Sterling scored his first career hat trick. It was very, very beautiful. And the game between Al Ali and Al Hilal in the World Club Championship, the third place match, they were beaten 4 goals to nothing. 4 goals to nothing. Two red cards, 14 minutes apart. The first 28 minutes of the game. In the 14th minute, Pereira got a red card, straight red card for roughing. And then 14 minutes after, on sportsmanlike conduct, Keno got another red card. And Al Ali duly obliged them by making sure that they suffer for it. Al Ali scored the first goal in the 8th minute, and they scored the second one in the 17th minute, and then the third one was scored in the 40th minute. So you could see that 40 minutes on the clock, Al Ali had already scored 3 goals, and then in the 64th minute, they made it 4 goals to nothing. I was hoping that Joe Gallo will come up with something in this one, but that didn't happen at all. As the team struggled and struggled and struggled, but nothing happened. Odier Gallo was an unused substitute in this game. Maybe tired, maybe the club wanted to see a different outlook to the team. But hey, they ended up losing 4 goals to nothing. I guess they overrated their chances after scoring 6 goals in the first game and then playing against Chelsea and narrowly losing by a goal to nil. They felt like, oh, they are good enough for Al Ali, they'll get something, but that didn't happen. I guess the coach made a wrong substitution. Chelsea took this game into extra time, and it was Kai Havertz once again. Okay, the man who popped up to score the penalty to give them the win. But then, what's it called? Lukaku scored first in the 55th minute, and then in the 64th minute, Palmares, the Brazilian team, equalized, but that was not enough for them to win, as it was just enough to drag them into extra time. 117 minutes, there was a penalty. Kai Havertz stood up and buried the penalty. 2-1 Chelsea are World Club champions. Currently, Chelsea have won every title available under the Roman Abramovich era. Well, one of the things that also surprised me was that Villarreal got a draw against Real Madrid. I was thinking that Real Madrid were going to get uh, Real Madrid were going to get what's it called, a win in that game, but that just didn't happen. It was something different that turned up, and it's very, very strange anyway. But football is football. You can sit on one end and something else would happen. Okay, so it's just what football gives to everybody. So that's what happened. I kind of like look at football sometimes. I like this team. Sometimes you think, okay, this is meant to be an easy game. It's meant to be an easy kick. It's not going to be difficult. But then those are the games that turn out to be very, very difficult. How that happens, I really don't know. But it's always something that happens consistently all the time. Football is football. You can't argue against it. You can't take away from it. You just have to endure it and see how it goes and say to yourself, well, this is football. I'm going to be in my space and enjoy the little that I get. And it seems like Barcelona will be looking at themselves and be saying, well, the title race is not over. Just like, what's it called? Xavi Hernandez, the coach of Barcelona, said, well, he doesn't say that the title race is over. It's not counting his team, Barcelona, out of the title race yet. He believes that they can get in on the title race and also go on to win the title. What would it be like anyway this season if Barcelona, this is a hypothetical question that I'm asking. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I'm just asking, what would it be like? Barcelona goes on to win the Spanish La Liga this season. Just think about it for a minute before you react or before you look at me and say, oh, if he's going crazy, why would he even say such a thing in the first place? Now, what I'm saying is, what would it be like? What would it be like going, through all of the things that Barcelona have gone through, the exit of Messi, losing matches easily, getting beaten by everybody. Just imagine a resurgence. They just go the rest of the season winning every game. I'm just saying hypothetically, and then they go on to win the league title. Yeah, and then also maybe add winning the Europa to it, because let's not forget, Barcelona are playing Thursday football. They are not available for the regular Champions League football that we know them to be part of. So hypothetically, Barcelona goes on to win the league title this season. How would it be if you're a Barcelona fan or you're a neutral football fan, you're not a Barcelona fan, you're not a Real Madrid fan? How would it be? How would it come across to you? How would you react to such kind of run? Atletico Madrid picked up a red card, but they managed to beat Getafe 4 goals to 3. It was a 7 goal thriller. It was an enjoyable match. It was a good one. Diego Simeone seemed to also be having issues with his dressing room anyway. Luis Suarez missed the penalty. He's wearing jersey number 9, missed the penalty in the 9th minute, but that didn't change the tide as Correa scored in the 19th minute. That's 10 minutes after the penalty miss. And then Koa scored again in the 27th minute. And you would have thought that, okay, Atletico Madrid will go on to, you know, cause havoc in this game. And then in the 30th, 37th, and 42nd minute, it was Hetafe that scored 3 goals. Mayora, Unai scored 3 goals in a very, very short stint of 12 minutes. 12 minutes of magical football. And then in the 4th minute of added time in the first half, Correa rose up again to score from an assist by Lemar. Now, this is why it is strange. In the 58th minute, Felipe got a straight red card for roughing. But that's not my own issue. My own take is these all 7 games of this football match were all bang on first half goals. It was strange. I mean, 6 goals in that first half. And then in the 89th minute, where you thought, okay, this game was going to end 3-3. In the 89th minute, out of nowhere, Hermoso scored the winning goal for Atletico Madrid. Don't forget that Atletico Madrid also missed a penalty in this game. So, but let's go back to the question that I'm asking you guys. What happens if Barcelona race out of nowhere with this win by Atletico Madrid? Barcelona are now out of the top 4. They are in the 5th position. So 22 games have been played by Barcelona, 24 played by Real Madrid. They are still on top of the league table. They are on 54 points. Sevilla is also played 24 games. You have 50 points. That's 4 points behind. Real Betis, strange, surprise, surprise. Real Betis are in 3rd position with 40 points. Atletico Madrid are in 39 points. That puts them very, very far. Okay. And Barcelona are in 38 points. So let's get it straight up first. Okay. 16 points behind Real Madrid. 16 points. Okay. And you've got 14 games to the end of the season. If Barcelona races from this position and goes on to win the league title and probably win the UEFA Europa Cup, would this be one of the greatest seasons comeback, one of the greatest rescue mission? I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just raising an hypothesis here. I'm just saying if that happens, how would you react to it? How would you see it? What would you call it? Would you see it as, whoa, football's greatest miracle of all time? Or would it just be a fluke, an accident, or the fact that they're not playing in major competition inspired that move? That's what I want to know. NEPA struck. Okay, the automatic light restorer showed up. Okay, so everything works well in my favor. But I'm just asking this question for the sake of people who are lovers of Barcelona and even those who are not, those who are just neutrals. But let's get past that. Someone sent me a message earlier on and said, what do I think is wrong with Manchester United? I go back to what I said at the beginning of the season. Manchester United started the season very well, and most people were tipping them to be in the title race. I opened the back door for that, even though from the one I've always said that Man City will win the league title, Liverpool come second, or any other person can chase them. But when they signed Cristiano Ronaldo, remember, I said this and I said it in different forums on Twitter, Facebook, on my radio show. I said the comment of Cristiano Ronaldo is the biggest mistake that Manchester United have made. What they needed was a central midfielder. They didn't get that one. They needed a proper striker, not Cristiano Ronaldo. There's something about Cristiano Ronaldo that people have not observed. Every time when Cristiano Ronaldo was in his prime, when he became a striker and started scoring goals, every time Cristiano Ronaldo have done well, He's always played with a striker around him. If he's not playing with Tevez, he's playing with Rooney. If he's not playing with Rooney, he's playing with Berbatov. If he's not playing with Berbatov, he's playing with Benzema. If he's not playing with Benzema, he's playing with what's that guy at Juventus, Paulo Dybala. So there's always someone. There's always or either Postiga at the national team, and then he moved on with all the people he played with. He's always played with a striker, a goal scorer around him who's willing to make sacrifice for Cristiano Ronaldo. You look at the way Manchester United play currently. They play with him alone as the lone man to lead the Manchester United charge. Now the problem with that is he no longer have the counterfoil that one knocks down the ball for him to just jab into the net, not COVID jabbing. I'm talking about jabbing the ball into the net or stab the ball into the net. He no longer have somebody who helps to draw attention to himself. And then you look at the way Manchester United play there. I don't know if it is. Can we really call the Manchester United formation a 4-3-3? Because it does look like 4-3-3. It does look like 4-3-3, but it also morphs very fast into a 4-5-1 kind of formation. Okay. So when Manchester United starts, you look at the team, you kind of like, it's a what are Manchester United playing? They're playing 4-2-3-1, right? But at the same time, it does look like it's 4-3-3. So let me explain what I mean by that. We already know David De Gea is in goal, who's the best player this season. We also know that the back four line is Shaw, Maguire, Varane, and Dalot. Okay, that's the back line. But you see Pogba and McTominay, okay, are the two pivot, two base of the midfield, like the two defensive midfielder. And then you have Bruno Fernandes up there. And sometimes Bruno Fernandes moves up to join Cristiano Ronaldo, and then it looks like it's a 4-2-2-2. But no, Bruno Fernandes is the top of it's a half diamond. It's the top of the diamond, and then Sancho and Rashford are supposed to be the other two that joins Cristiano Ronaldo up front as the three. Now the problem with the Manchester United system and what they are playing is that Manchester United does have this disadvantage of Sancho and Rashford one playing too wide from from uh, from Cristiano Ronaldo, and in turn causing him to be very very lonely. So even their runs does not trouble the opposition in the 18-yard box. Rather, it only troubled them in wide area. And you can see if you follow the Arsenal game yesterday, you notice that uh, Arsenal kept the wide areas open but keep the defense closed. So uh, it's difficult for you to penetrate when you're playing like that because you're not close enough and the opposition knows you're going to cross. And Southampton is a team that can have a way of dealing with crosses very easy. So that's one of the things that Cristiano Ronaldo had to suffer, in the game. But it's not just Cristiano Ronaldo now. You have to look at the whole Manchester United team. Who is the weakest link here? Last season, Bruno Fernandes was one of the best players. I think this season it started very well, but it's become one of the weakest link because it's not moving as it used to be. It's not making crosses and it's not making passes as it used to be. This is my thought anyway. If you're a Manchester United fan or if you watch the game, you could give your own thought or your own opinion, your views about it. But that's what I think about Manchester United and the way they play. And according to the question that somebody asked me, what do I think of Manchester United? What do I think of Manchester United? That's just what I think. Guys, give me a minute. Let me adjust something with the ACs in my house. A little bit of adjustment before I download my video. Okay, I'm back. That's a very short break, but sorry, guys. I'm back. Okay, so I was talking about Manchester United and their team. So, I mean, today you couldn't blame Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba had a good game or had a good first 45 minutes. And then in the second half, not just for Pogba, but I think the entire team started, dropping. Sancho started playing like he wasn't interested anymore after scoring that goal. And then Rashford kind of like had a few moments. So the thing about a football match is football game is 90 minutes. If you're going to play and have few moments in between each other, those moments that you have should lead to something substantial. Rashford had few moments where he had beautiful runs, counter-attacking runs that could have, provided either the cross that leads to a goal or something, but that didn't happen. And Southampton really did head their line very well, knowing that Cristiano Ronaldo does not press, made it also very easy for them to, hold their line and watch Cristiano Ronaldo strew into offside position most of the time. He had a chance in the first half where he got past the goalkeeper, Ben Foster, but there was not enough force. There was not enough force behind the ball to trouble the net, and the goalkeeper saved that one. That's one of the problems that I noticed. I don't know if you guys notice anything, but if you do, please drop a comment. Let's have a chat because it's supposed to be us chatting. I know that a few people are watching this live stream right now. So, what's your thought on the Manchester United game, or probably you have any question to ask me? I'm open to that. Now, let's move to the Inter Milan, the Napoli Inter Milan game, and I thought that was a game that Napoli could have won if the kind of like push a little harder. They put a little bit of extra effort. We can come back to the Manchester United game if you have a question on that one. But I want to highlight a few things that I noticed with the game, the Napoli Inter Milan game, and I'm going to share my thoughts with you guys. I might be wrong on that one, and I'm going to come to the Manchester City game as well. I don't think we'll touch anything in the Bundesliga because, as far as I'm concerned, not really a big deal. But the Venezia, even with one man that won their game against Torino. Last year also won their game against Bologna 3-0. That wasn't much of it wasn't going to be much of a problem. It was for me an easy ride and easy meet for them. But I'm going to come up with my thought on the Napoli Inter Milan game. I thought, this is me, I also might be wrong, but this is my opinion. When I looked at that game, because I saw the game, in full stretch, I had to go back again to watch it in full, because I knew that I was going to talk about it. And there are some observations that I have in that game. When Osimhen won that penalty and the captain Lorenzo Insigne went to score that one in the 7th minute, I thought, okay, they got a very early goal. They are going to build on it. They had a very good team. They started very well. David Ospina was in goal. They had Rui, left fullback, and then they have the trusted pair of Dramani and Koulibaly in the defense, and Lorenzo, holding forth the right fullback. He's been out injured for a while and he's back now. And then you have Ruiz and Lobotka, who I think is a very hard-working midfielder, playing at the base of the midfield. And then you have Zelensky in front of them, and then you have Insigne and Politano, on the wide side alongside Osimhen. Now, the same problem that we had with Manchester United, I think it's the same problem that Napoli had in this game. Inter Milan packed the midfield knowing fully well that that is where Napoli normally operates. So they played a 3-4-2 formation that allowed Lautaro Martinez and Edin Dzeko, who scored the equalizer in the 46 minutes or so. I would have to check, to play up front. But then in midfield was where they made sure Ruiz, Lobotka, and Zelensky didn't get in their stride, because every time these tridents get in their stride, it makes it easy for them to draw attention to themselves and free up spaces, acres of spaces for either Insignia or Politano to create the chances for Osimhen. Now, if you look at Osimhen again, Osimhen does not have that much dynamism to his game. He's not, it's just the power forward, speedster who can cause you problem if you let him. So one of the things he did was, first off, isolate Osimhen so much so that they also did not make him get the supply that would require to make him, shine in this game. Yeah, the supplies he got were very, very few, because to choke up that midfield, the midfield of Napoli were not able to like cook up their chances and then take it to the next level. So I thought very early in the game, and Inter Milan also made early changes than Napoli. I thought for a team that wants to take the top position, for a team that wants to march on and recover their top spots. Remember before Sime got injured, they were on top of the log. Uh, team that wants to take that top spot. I thought that they should have adjusted their system early enough. And then the captain, the senior, Lorenzo Senior wasn't playing, the way we saw him play during the Euros in this game. He was a little bit jaded, a little bit drawback. I don't know what was running on his mind, but I think that he didn't play this game like it was like a game that could decide the destiny of the title. Not really that this game would decide the destiny of the title, but this would have given them an added 2 points if they had put in an extra energy, to win the game. It was just to be taken. Inter Milan, were satisfied with getting a draw out of this game, knowing fully well that it still keeps them on top of the log no matter what happens, and they've got the game in hand on every opposition that is chasing them in the title race. Inter Milan are 24 games played, they are 54 points, which is 1 point over Napoli, and AC Milan are 52 points out of 24 games played. Now, the difference is that Napoli have now played 25 games, which is one more than Inter Milan. They are going to be hoping that Inter Milan loses the next game that they will play, and then maybe to give them a shot at going forward. Juventus are lagging behind the fourth position with 45 points. I'm not going to count Juventus out of making up the final spot of the UEFA Champions League, but I don't think I want to put them in the mix for a team that could, upstage a comeback and come and win the title. I don't think they have what it takes to do that this season. But I think that in this game, maybe Napoli played into the hands of Inter Milan by the way they set up, and that probably affected their game completely. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes subsequently and how they readjust themselves to fit in. Yes, it is still after the final whistle. Son of Oba Obini, say good evening, bro. Good evening to you. Yes, so it's still after the final whistle, and we're touching on some of the key games that went down. You guys asked for it. I guess that this is the first edition, so it's always going to be difficult to have a full house. But I mean, when we do tomorrow and we do Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Thursday, it's normally like that when you start a new show, it's always slow. Okay, Michael McAvoy, say good evening, Dafe. Good evening to you. So we've been talking about the games that were played today. I've touched on Manchester United, my thought about it, what I think is wrong with Manchester United, why I think that they can improve that team, and what can change. I'm not surprised that things are going the way they are going after I predicted it before, but I'm surprised that it's taking them this long and they are not really seeing why they should make those changes. The funny thing is, this evening after the game, I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I said that how did Manchester United go from a team that once upon a time have Babatov, Wayne Rooney, Cristiano Ronaldo, Carlos Tevez, Nani, Ashley Young, Darren Fletcher, those players who are forward-minded players, and all of a sudden now they have only just one striker. I'm saying just one striker because Cavani is not in the mix, right? So they have only Cristiano Ronaldo. And please don't tell me that Rashford is a striker, because Rashford is not the kind of striker that can ever win you a title. He's not the kind of guy that can guarantee you goals and assists up to 25 a season. So put him on the side. Okay? Whew. If you can call uh Son Son Heung-min of Spurs a striker, there's no basis calling Rashford a striker. But how did Manchester United go from that team that had all of these players, when you look at their bench, you are worried, you're scared, to this team? How did they go from that to this? You know, and it's very, very strange. Son of Baba Abini said, Alex played good football today, bro. I want to ask you a question. Is Alex a winger? Which Alex are we talking about? Which of the Alex? Is it Alexis Sanchez? Or which Alex? Which game are you referring to? Please, can you make that question a bit clearer so that I understand the the player you're talking about? Which Alex? Alex of which team and which game are you referring to? So it would help me to know what my answer should be, because I think there are quite a few players who goes by the name of Alex. So I want to know who you're talking about, but I will wait your reply to my ask, right? So for me, that on its own is one of the problem. Even at the very peak of Cristiano Ronaldo's powers, all right, there's always a striker, playing around him, helping him to draw attention and creating that space for him. Whether it's Babatov, whether it's Carlos Tevez, whether it's Wayne Rooney, whether it's Serdar Postiga, whether it's Karim Benzema, or whoever. But there's a striker at Manchester United currently where he's no longer at the peak of his powers, where he's aging, his body is no longer as strong as it is. I'm talking about body. We hear the story that he's saying he wants to terminate his 2 years contract with Manchester United in the summer and look for somewhere else to go, maybe go to America or probably go to Paris Saint-Germain, but he wants to terminate his contract because he's no longer enjoying his football. And some people say that the dressing room of Manchester United does not want the Ajax coach Ten Hag because they say that he's been coaching some small boys. He might come here and treat them like small boys. They want Mauricio Pochettino, who's got experience with older players, can handle them very well. But I don't think that Pochettino has been doing well with Paris Saint-Germain. Well, they won yesterday. They have a very big caution between them and the chasing pack in the league. The Champions League is what everybody wants them to do. If he goes on to win the Champions League, well, all of my accusation of him will be thrown to the shred and I will become the guy that everybody will mock. But that said, I'm wondering if you're a Manchester United fan, who do you want? Who do you look up to have on your team? Is it Mauricio Pochettino or Ajax coach Ten Hag? It's up to you guys to decide that one. One of the good things with me is whoever you get to, I'll have my opinion, I'll make my say, I'll say anything. I mean, that guy. Alex Iwobi played a very good game today. My question is Alex a winger? Alex will be a winger. So Alex is one of those players that you really don't know where he plays. Okay, so Everton had a good game. Generally, Everton had a good game. They started off the block against Leeds United like a house on fire, and they didn't hold back. They started, the press from the beginning to the end. They could have scored more goals. Yeah, my problem with Alex is that he does not know how to put up this performance consistently. If you look at Alex, every time he's played under a new coach, he's played very well. Whether it's Gennaro, whether it's Rafa Benitez, whether it's Carlo Ancelotti, whether it's Arsene Wenger, whether it's whoever, every time he's played under a new coach, Unai Emery, he's played very well. But as he goes, he has not learned how to keep that consistency to his game. So today he had something close to a man of the match performance. Fantastic performance. And remember, I'm one of his worst critics, so I'm giving him that elaborate and exaggerated credit. But can we see this performance week in, week out? To answer your question, Alex Iwobi professed to be a number 10, creative midfielder. But the reason why he couldn't hold down that position, remember that the time he burst into the scene from the academy at Arsenal, there was Ozil, who was numero uno world number one in terms of the number 10 position. Then there was Santi Cazorla. And then there was also Rosicky, all of these guys. So the best place for him to play when they were bringing him from the bench was to play out wide, either on the left or on the right, but most times on the left. And, he excelled, he played well in that team. There was no way he was going to play as a center attacking midfielder. Now, at the national team also, when he came in, that was the position. It was the guy who was supposed to come in and take over from Mikel Obi and then go on smoothly. But when he first came in, Mikel Obi was still in the team. He had not retired. So was shunting him to the side as well. But remember that on that side, there was Victor Moses. But then Victor Moses retired. And then, we're caught between putting him there or not putting him there. We didn't have a proper number 10. So we're looking at Ogana Karitebo and a few other players. So there is this back and front position, whether to put him in that position or to push it forward. But at the end of the day, I think that Alex Iwobi would have done well as a wide man, but his crosses are also not good because I judge a wide player based on their crosses. If you put him as a number 10 again, I also don't think that he's got good passing ability. Yes, he can make those short passes, 1-2 true balls, and the rest of them. He's good at that. But how consistent can he be? If you can't be consistent with the way you play, it's hard for me to put you on a positive rating scale. So naturally, let's say I have kept him in a place where I keep rating him as potentially he's got potential, but it's not really there. He's not one of those players that I rate as a good player. But on the strength of his performance against Leeds United today, he had a good game. Let him show me that consistently. Abiodun Lawa, he said, hopefully he can be more consistent. I hope so. For his own sake and for his own good, if he can be that consistent, wow, it'll be fantastic. I think so. I think it'll be fantastic. But I doubt it very much. It's almost impossible for that to happen. Any family, Any Banke said, my question for the show, what would you pin Everton's win against Leeds United to? Lampard brilliance, Bielsa's bad day at work. Uh, One of those things. Uh, uh, okay. One of those things that I avoid saying when a coach wins a match, especially if it's a coach that I've consistently criticized before. I hate to say, oh, it's because Leeds United had a bad day. Leeds United had a battle with Frank Lampard before. Remember the Spygate and all that. So I don't think this is a game that Bielsa was coming into not prepared, even though he wasn't allowed. He's sleeping. He wasn't allowed to spy as he normally would love to do. But I think he came into this game judging Everton on their recent poor form and feeling like, you know what, we can go into this game and just show up. And that's one thing in football that football, will always embarrass you. If you come into a football match with the let's just show up kind of mentality, it easily rubs off on your players and then they begin to play like that. Let's not forget that coming into let's be very honest. Everton has not had it very, very nice. Everton in their last 5 games have had okay, so let's even remove this game that they played against uh, Leeds. Their last 5 games, they've had two wins and 3 losses. Okay, they lost to Norwich 2-1. Of all team, Norwich beat them 2-1. Aston Villa also beat them 1-0. And before they played against Leeds, they lost to Newcastle 3 goals to 1. So maybe Leeds United, who also have not had fantastic game, they've lost 3, drawn 1, and lost 1, also came into this game feeling, you know what, we can get something out of this one. Last time they played, it was 2-2, and then, they felt like, okay, we can get something out of this one. They came into this game quite a little bit relaxed and feeling like they could just put anybody on their side and then they'll get a result. But that didn't happen. As everything came in, fully prepared. One, they're playing at home, new coach, new bands for players, came in fully prepared. Because if you see the way Everton started this game, you know that they've been working on how to play this game exactly the way they played it. Normally, you will see a Bielsa team in this game will play either a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 or a 4-5-1. But then what did he do? He chose to play a 4-1-4-1 formation against a Frank Lampard who had decided to go back to his uncle's tactics, her Redknapp tactics of 4-4-2, the old school. He decided to play it old school, decided to play 2 strikers up front. And then, sometimes you just get the bounce, the lock. All this while, Rafa Benitez have not had Richarlison and Cavani play because of injury, but today they were available, and these are 2 strikers who can not only score goals but can run. Not like they were the ones that scored the goals, but because of how troublesome they were, even though both of them didn't play 90 minutes because Frank Lampard is trying to manage them, because of how troublesome they were, players like Gordon, Seamus Coleman, and Kane were able to go in and get the goals that they needed. So you look at this game carefully and you tell yourself that it is more of what Frank Lampard put into the team than the fact that Leeds United were having a bad day. Yes, a couple with them also having a bad day. I won't lie about that one, but you can't just put everything on them having a bad day. But you could say that because the way football is tactically, coaches, if you've ever been in a dressing room, one of the things that coaches will say is we have to game plan for this game. Game plan number 1 is stop the opposition from playing. Game plan number 2 is us imposing our game to extract a win from the game. So they stopped Leeds United from playing, got them confused, got them, turning over possession, every like 2, 3 minutes. and then they also took their ball and then play the ball the way they wanted to play. So by impose their game on the opposition, make sure they get their chances, and once they create their chances, they took it. They did not let go. They did not lose their chances. They did not, let the opposition come into the game, score the first one, score the second one, and score the third one. For an Everton team that's been struggling, I think that it is more of Lampard's tactics and good work rather than credit reverse on the other side and say Leeds United had a bad game. Now, I think that you might have a follow-up question, and the follow-up question would: can Everton go on now from this to go and win every other game subsequently? One of the things that I will say is football is not like that. It's not mathematics. It's not 1 plus 1 2. Okay, every game comes with its own risk, comes with its own different agenda. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Everton is not going to run on every opposition and win every game. I think let's take it one game at a time. They've won this one. They won it well on the coach's tactics and strength. If they come back again in the next game and they don't win, then we cannot say, okay, well, the tactics that they used probably had burned them out in just one game against Leeds United. They still got some very strong and tough opposition to play against. But I think that Lampard did well in this game. Let's see what comes up in the next game. But I mean, it is one win, one loss. I'm not saying that Lampard is going to do a Steven Gerrard, or I'm not saying because he's also not signed players that he need. Mohiri has spent money for this team, and he thinks that the team has spent enough. They should, use the players that they've got. But we'll see how it goes. I think Lampard did well with this one. I'll give him all the credit. I won't argue against it. Karin said, greetings from India. Woo! Thank you very much. Namaste. Yeah, namaste. That's how they say it, right? Okay. Simon Solomon, you say, I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, but let me see if somebody sent me another message on WhatsApp. Okay, there's no message. So let's go to the one that I promised to talk about. We're getting close to the end of the show already. We're going to run it for 1 hour today. That's the Man City game. Now, Pep Guardiola is not only is he reinforcing this belief that you can win matches without a striker, but is reinforcing this belief and ideology that you can win a league title without a striker. Last season, there was the argument that, he had Gabriel and Aguero in parts of those games. But if you look at this season, Gabriel have not really been a major force in the team. Don't play matches, even when he plays, the goals are not coming from him. And you look at this team, the player with the most goal this season is not even a forward player. And you look at the way the goals are shared, it's shared among everybody in the team. And they keep playing like that every day. Would they be able to win the Champions League with it? I don't know. I thought that last season they did enough to win the Champions League, but Thomas Tuchel came out of nowhere to scatter the plans. And Thomas Tuchel just won the World Club Championship with Chelsea. But I think that Pep Guardiola would more than be remembered for the titles that he won, but as well be remembered for reinventing the game. I know that quite a few coaches have played first nine at national team level. We saw it with the Spanish national team. But to play an entire league season with the first nine, not signing a major striker, and being able to, run away when you're playing against teams like Liverpool, Chelsea, who have proven strikers, it's incredible. I'm amazed at Manchester City. The intensity with which they play. The beautiful thing about Man City is even when they are winning, and winning 1, 2, 3 goals, they are still pushing for more goals. They are still running back to come and defend, even with a second to the end, to the final whistle, which is very, very strange because most teams would take a slack. We're leading 3-0, we're leading 4-0. There's no need, but it's not Man City. Whatever it is that he's been telling this player is incredible. Another good thing that Pep Guardiola have done with this team is the balance in rotation. Okay, it doesn't wait till the players are angry and maybe they want to disrupt the camp before he brings them in. He knows when to keep them on the bench with John Stone, Nathan Ake, Raheem Sterling, Joao Cancelo, Ike Gundogan, and sometimes Kevin De Bruyne and Mahrez. He's known how to rotate them. The only player he doesn't rotate, especially in the major competitions like the Champions League and the league, is Ederson. Every other player, Ruben Dias, uh, Laporte, Fernandinho, Rodri, every one of them is find a way to rotate them and still keep the intensity, the shape, the desire, and the winning mentality. That's something, because it's Pep Guardiola that's doing it and it's Man City. I know that it's easy for people to say, because they have money. No, look at Paris Saint-Germain. They don't have that mentality, that intensity, and they are playing in a league that is not as competitive as the English league. This is not me calling them the Farmers League or trying to rubbish that league, but you understand what I'm saying. So for that, I give Pep Guardiola a lot of credit. Son of Oba Benin, I say, bros, what is the problem with Watford? They changed their coach, still it's not still working. I think that Watford does not have the quality that they think they have. Watford problem began when they let Troy Deeney go. They thought that Troy Deeney was too old. But one of the things you don't do is let a dressing room leader go. You have a bunch of players who are outsiders who don't understand the tradition of the team. Watford is not a club with big budget. It's not a rich club that can afford to go to the market and pick quality. A club like that, you need a in Wari in Urubu will say Omoto. I think Yoruba will call it Ibile, Omo Ibile. You need some of the Omoniles to be part of the team to tell the story of how this team has been going down and coming up. People who are bold enough to call their teammates and tell them that, look, we can't lose this game. People that are that strong mentally, you need them in your team. Unfortunately, they don't have that. And so the coaches will come in, do whatever tactics he wants to do, but the players don't. More like they just earning their salaries and then they go. They really don't have, TDJs will say they don't have a skin in the game. They don't have it deep into their skin. They just feel like, man, it's just another game. But when you play for teams like Watford that are not chasing the title, but it means a whole lot if they get relegated because it doesn't just affect the players, but it affects the community that is connected to them. Yes, they're a London club, same as Chelsea, same as Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur, and quite Brentford, quite a few other clubs like that. But one thing you should understand is every club have its own ecosystem, its own community. How relegation would affect those people. They need a player on the inside who tells the guys that, hey, guy, this is what would happen to us if we get relegated. If you've watched the Crystal Palace movie, it's on Amazon Prime, when Eagles there, go and watch that story. You will see how the impact of the community led to the club not going into administration. That's one of the things that people like them Trodini brings to the team. That's what people like John Terry brought to that Chelsea team that went all the way to win the Champions League in 2012. You must have like an own boy who enforces what it means to play for this club. I think they don't have that one. The current players that they have, yes, they are talented, but have they been able to fuse themselves together in a web of unity and say, oh, we would fight this cause to the end? I don't think they've been able to do that. That's also another problem. Plus, the Premier League is unforgiving in many ways. In more ways than one, the Premier League is unforgiving. You get to play in the Premier League, you lose one game, it becomes a pattern. Look at Manchester United, how they are struggling to get out of the mud of losing or drawing, dropping points anyhow, because that's how the Premiership is. You get on a good run, like Man City is, it stays. It is 14 wins out of 15 since they last lost the game. So you look at them and you say to yourself, that's how you want your favorite football club to play. But not everybody can play with like Manchester City. Come on. Manchester City have qualities that a lot of clubs don't have. It will be sad to see Watford go on relegation as a Nigerian because of the number of Nigerian players that are in this team. You have a table, you have Mariko Okoye is going to join them next season, you have Emmanuel Dennis, you have Simon Kalu, all of these Nigerian and African players. Sir from Senegal is also there. All of this Trust Ekong is there as well. You have all these players that are in this team. They get relegated. It's Nigerian players that are going down with them. So for me, that's where it hurts. That's where that's why I feel sad and pain. But hey, my sadness or my pain will not change anything. It is the club that have decided to play the way they are. Is it the coach? I don't know. It doesn't look to me like it's the coach. I just think that the players, don't feel connected to the team, and it's bad because if you're being paid, you have a contract, you should play for the badge. And I don't know. This is not me mocking him, but since Emmanuel Dennis turned down Nigeria, he's lost that form, that energy that got him flying, top to bottom. All of a sudden, it's not just where it should be. And Akanaka Etobo has been injured since forever. The rest of the Nigerian contingent did not play in this game as they were not available. So Etobo is out, but the other ones were not picked. True second not in the team. What's it called? Samuel Kalu not in the team. A host of other Nigerian players that are in the squad, they're not there. Marco Okoye is in Holland on loan. When the season ends, he will come join his teammate. But he might be joining them not as Premier League team, but as a relegated team. I mean, look at the table and you ask yourself, who are they going to displace? Newcastle seems to have found an energy. They now know how to play. They now know how to keep possession. They now know how to shake off the opposition. They've squeezed their way out of the relegation bottom place, even with 2 games in hand to Norwich, who was played 24, 1 game in hand to Watford, who's played 23, and 2 games over Burnley, who are sat at the base of the Premier League. But when you look at it, Newcastle now have 18 points. Watford have 15, Burnley have 14, and then Norwich have 17. But Norwich have played 2 games more than Newcastle. It means that Newcastle can keep climbing. Everton have also now stemmed the tide of their losing streak. Everton was losing straight parallel, 4 losses before this game, and then they won today. Would Everton go on to win the next game? It's a possibility. So if Everton keeps winning, Newcastle keeps winning, maybe it's Leeds United that will be sucked into that relegation pit. But right now they are still comfortable because they are on 23 points. They need about 17 points more to be saved. But this is one of those seasons that it's looking likely that the team that will survive relegation might not necessarily need the traditional 40 points to survive relegation, as some of the teams at the bottom are just on the free fall. They are free giver, they are donating points like it is blood. So it's going to take them some time. It's going to take them some time to get in their stride and get things going. But let's see how it unfolds at the end of the day. It's very, very sad to see Watford. When they started the season, I thought that Watford were going to be one of those teams that will give everybody a run for their money. The players that they've got, the way Dessas were playing, the way everybody was playing, I thought that they were going to do well. But unfortunately, it's not turned out to be like that. It's sad. It's really, really sad. I don't want to blame the coach. I just think that it's an entire team issue. Maybe if they sack the coach now, somebody else might come in and do well. The coach that have surprised me is the Wolves coach, Ledge. Okay, Bruno Ledge have really surprised me the way he's put his team together. And then David Moyes also, I was just impressed me the way he's put his West Ham together. I still think that Arsenal have a potential to make it to the top 4 at the end of the season. And I think that next season, Arsenal will need to invest heavily on the squad. The only way that investment can happen is if Arsenal make the top 4 this season. And it will make sense if Arsenal does make the top 4. Another team that have, lost it for me is Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, they've got a few games in hand. They could revive their season, but the dropping point where they should be picking points, losing games that they should be winning, and that's not too good. Another 2 teams that have also done very well, apart from Aston Villa, is Brighton and Hove and Southampton. I mean, when the season started, Southampton was a mark as one of the teams that will go on relegation. But see how they've changed their fortune and rally round and see where they've got into. Not like they are all saved here, but I mean, a few points from 40, they can do well. Okay. But for Watford is painful. You just don't get promoted, and then the next minute you are you know, dropping and going down. All right. The Super Eagles fanatic, you say, Ademola Lookman, they have addition to the Eagles. Okay, yeah. I mean, Watford has a great addition with Samuel Kalu, but they've not played him. So until they play him and he add value to the team, it'll be nice. Emmanuel Dennis didn't turn down Nigeria. Watford didn't let him play for. He turned down Nigeria. Watford is just a scapegoat. When you say, okay, let us take a bullet. Watford, if Emmanuel Dennis says, I want to go and play for Nigeria, he would come to me. See, I have videos, I have video evidence, audio evidence. Emmanuel Dennis didn't want to play for Nigeria. This is not something that started today. It started with the under 23s, under what's it called? When Imama Mapakaba was the coach. Then even when Ganatroy invited him, Emmanuel Dennis have never wanted to play for Nigeria. I'll say that anywhere, any day. He didn't want to play for Nigeria. He just, Watford just decided to, let's defend our player, let's stand up for our player and make it not look like it's his fault. But Emmanuel Dennis never wanted to play for Nigeria. Son of Obabini, he said nobody fuck with Super Eagles fans. Other clubs should learn from Watford mistake for keeping Dennis. It's not Watford, it's Dennis that didn't want to come. And then he said, Juju, yeah, we've got just 5 minutes to the end of this. I think it's getting interesting at the end, and it's always like that when I do my live stream. But then this is the first edition of after the final whistle. We'll keep it going. I mean, Champions League is back, so I'll be here 11 o'clock every evening, and it's for those people who are in diaspora because I got mails saying that my live stream is only for people in Nigeria. Don't I know that they are sleeping and all that? See me now, I'm feeling very sleepy, but I've committed to come do this, and you guys are not, pumping here like I would have expected. But then tomorrow evening, it's going to be another one again. Tomorrow night, sorry, 11 p.m. is more like night. We're going to have it again. And then the Champions League night after the last game, we're going to have it 11 o'clock in the night. If the last game is still 11 o'clock in the night, we'll keep having it. That's after the final whistle for you guys, because we have to keep the channel balanced. Realizing that the channel belongs to everybody. Everybody is involved. I'm trying my best to make sure I give everybody the opportunity for us to get the conversation going across board. Because when you people send me these messages on my DM and say, "Oh, you have to adjust the time. 9 o'clock to 10 a.m. Nigerian time is good for you, but it's not good for me. Where I am, I need to sleep and wake up and go to work. But if you can, adjust it a bit," I listen. But you see, sometimes you've got to understand that a man can only work with what he have, and this is what I have. But then again, because of the way it is, I know that it's a global space that I'm operating on. I choose the online space, so I've also got to listen to the people that are, spending their time and their data and their resources to be part of the show. So that's the reason why I am here. Thank you very much for everybody who joined in. This is the first edition of After the Final Whistle. I'm sure that it will get better as we go. Tomorrow is another day. Matches that are going to go down tomorrow. Let's look at the fixtures as it is. But let's not forget that today, Bayern Munich actually lost 4-2 away from home to O-level club Bochum. And when they play against those big teams, they win. So Liverpool have a chance to cut the points from 12 to 9. And then they've also got another outstanding game because they've got two games in hand. They've got the game against Arsenal that was postponed. Is it Arsenal? No, I don't think it's Arsenal. But they've got two games in hand. They play against Burnley tomorrow, starting from 3. Is it 3? Yeah. And then there's the Newcastle Aston Villa game. That game is going to be, for me, that's like the super game of the Sunday. Newcastle are already finding their way out. Aston Villa, on the other hand, Felipe Coutinho seems to be resurgent, and Steven Gerrard is working his magic there. Coutinho seems to have found his love for football again, but Newcastle are taking no prisoners. They made some good signings. They want to make sure they remain in the Premier League. Remember, I said it to you guys that no matter what happens, Newcastle are going to survive relegation. And these are two teams that seem to be in a place where everybody need them to be in the Premier League next season. What's going to happen? It's going to be some controversial moment. Maybe, I don't know. Tottenham are playing Wolves. Wolves almost got a draw or probably a win against Arsenal, but that didn't happen. Tottenham must lost to Southampton that they should have won. So this game is going to be very, very tight. Leicester City have lost color. They're no longer the team that they used to be. They are playing against informed West Ham. West Ham wants to retain their top 4 position. Let's see how this game goes. For the sake of Arsenal and the sake of West Ham, I think I will be wishing Leicester to win, but Leicester does not look like a team that will. I'll be surprised if they win. At least they're playing at the King Power, so I'll be fine for them. Plenty of matches in the French League. Monaco will play Lorient, Agas will play Strasbourg, Brett will play against Troyes, Clermont will play Saint Etienne, and Nantes will play against Reims, Lens will play against Bordeaux, Metz will play against Marseille. There's a player in Bordeaux that I might be interviewing next week. He's playing for the French team. He's a Wolfsburg player that is on loan. He's playing for Real Madrid that is on loan to Bordeaux. You can check him out. I won't mention his name. You can guess. I'll be interviewing him most likely this week. His brother played for Guinea. I want to find out why he didn't choose to play for Guinea. Okay. And then you've got Metz playing against Marcel. In the German Bundesliga, you have Union Berlin playing against Dortmund. Hoffenheim playing against Amena Bielefeld. And then in Italy, we have a list of matches. AC Milan playing against Sampdoria, and Empoli playing against Cagliari. Genoa playing against Salernitana. Verona playing against Udinese. Sassuolo, AS Roma, Atalanta, Juventus. That's going to be like a goal feast anyway. And in the Spanish La Liga, Alaves playing against Valencia, Levante playing against Betis, Real Sociedad playing against Granada, Espanyol, that's a Basque derby, okay, a Catalonia derby. Espanyol will be hosting FC Barcelona. Hopefully, FC Barcelona wins that one. This is where we come to the end of after the final whistle today. Tomorrow again, let's make it a date. Join me from 11 p.m. Let's have some fun. My brother is still making me laugh. He's saying that juju when Nigerian people do, now make Watford one goal relegation because they're not going to allow Emmanuel Dennis come with us. Well, it could be true. I'm not doubting anything anymore. But this is why I do the content. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's do this again tomorrow. God bless you and have a good night rest.